You know, I keep asking myself this question. Who is the best wide receiver in football? I feel like it's always an ever changing conversation. A couple years back, it was undoubtedly Devontae Adams. All right. Then a few years before that, you had DeAndre Hopkins, Julio Jones, right? You had so many names. And I feel like the name that's on the tip of everybody's tongue now is Justin Jefferson. And, I just don't see it that way. I don't see it that way. I think Justin Jefferson's a very, very good wide receiver. Elite. There's a handful of elite wide receivers in the National Football League. I think Justin Jefferson is one of them. But I really, really believe Jamar Chase is the best wide receiver in the National Football League. When I look at Jamar Chase's ability to create separation, first and foremost, you listen to Jamar Chase talk about how he breaks down defensive backs and how essentially how they were taught at LSU. And, I'm sure a lot of wide receiver coaches out there will go out there and they'll say, well, we teach all of our guys this way. But these guys really, really put an emphasis on leverage. They put a huge emphasis on leverage and making sure they get the defensive back in an off balance situation or out of position. And that is where the guys like Jamar Chase and Justin Jefferson will look to take advantage. But I look at Jamar Chase and I think he does it at such a elite level and it's so smooth. When you watch Jamar Chase, it feels like he's almost gliding. And so when I look at this conversation that has sort of been sparked about who is the best wide receiver in the National Football League, I could point to so many games of where Jamar Chase looks like he's almost playing backyard football out there. And you know what's crazy? I think that they're two different style of wide receivers. I think Justin Jefferson undoubtedly gets more volume than Jamar Chase. I think he undoubtedly gets more volume than Jamar Chase. And it's like, I understand it, right? You got Jordan Addison in the Vikings offense, but in the Bengals offense, you got T. Higgins, right? It's a proven wide receiver. You had Tyler Boyd. This year's going to even get bigger, right? You got T. Higgins, Jermaine Burton, the rookie they drafted out of Alabama, Charlie Jones, Andre Osivas, Mike. I mean, the list goes on. But to me, Jamar Chase just does it when you cut the volume almost in half, right? He's just explosive that way. It's more you know what you're getting essentially. You don't have to get him a bunch of targets, and he's just more efficient, it feels like, than a lot of these wide receivers in the National Football League. When you watch Jamar Chase's game, it's very rare that he's getting one-on-one coverage now. He's always got 2 to 3 defenders probably shaded his way because they know that if Jamar Chase gets the ball in his hands, he has the ability to take it to the house. His catch radius for a small guy is insane. Him and Justin Jefferson are different wide receivers. I really believe Justin Jefferson is a little bit more finesse. I think Jamar Chase is more physical. And I think it shows up on film. The thing is, Jamar Chase has the finesse ability too, but his game is just so dynamic, I think. A couple of years back, I was really so I'll tell you this. My favorite cornerback in the National Football League is Jair Alexander, and he was injured. I really wanted to see the matchup between Jamar Chase and Jair Alexander. We saw Jamar Chase versus Jalen Ramsey. We saw him against Marlon Humphrey, and we saw what he was able to do to some of these elite cornerbacks in the National Football League. He's won. It's made it look easy. But, I felt like we got robbed of that Jair Alexander matchup because I felt like that was one that would have really told a tale. I think that Justin Jefferson is a close second. I really believe that. I think he's a close second. I think after that, I think I personally would still put Devontae Adams there, right? Although his numbers might not have all of it to back it up, especially because you look at who's throwing the football to him, whether it be Aiden O'Connell, Jimmy Garoppolo. I mean, it's you name it. You never know who the Raiders are kind of throwing out there at quarterback. But when I look at it, man, I think that those are still the 3 kings of the National Football League. Amon-Ra St. Brown, he's a very good wide receiver still. He is. I don't think that he's broken into the top 3 wide receiver in the league discussion quite yet. I really believe after the 3, I think the 3 kings are kind of already set. And I think they can be interchangeable. But I am, in my humble opinion, I think that Jamar Chase is undoubtedly the best wide receiver in the National Football League. And I think he'll continue to prove upon that this year. And I think when he finally gets his contract that obviously he's vying for, the Bengals are going to pay him. I think you're going to see him get paid just that way that we view him. I think he is going to break the bank at the wide receiver position and absolutely transcend the wide receiver market. But I'd be remiss if I also didn't bring up Tyreek Hill. I don't know why Tyreek Hill is always left out of the best wide receiver in the National Football League conversation. And I think it's because you don't see him necessarily, I guess, run all the same routes. You see a lot of slants, you see a lot of go balls. Um, but I don't think that should be a reason why we knock him, right? I think Tyreek Hill is truly dynamic with the ball in his hands. And I think that Tyreek Hill is a weapon that you have to watch out for. Now, we don't know how long he's going to stay on top for. He's getting up there in age. Speed is definitely the deciding factor for a guy like Tyreek Hill. It's not the physicality. It's not even the catch radius, I would say. I would just say, hey, it's when he gets the ball in his hands, what is that guy able to do? It's like, I think if I'm comparing him to those guys, right? The Jamar Chase, the Justin Jefferson, the Devontae Adams of the world, I think you look at it and you say, they all have something that the other doesn't have. But I that's where I disagree. I think Jamar Chase has the same ability, has something that they all have. I think Jamar Chase has the speed. I think Jamar Chase has the hands. I think Jamar Chase has the dynamic ability. I think Jamar Chase has the catch radius. I think Jamar Chase has the route running of a Devontae Adams. I think he does. But I'm very curious to hear what you all think in the comment section. Who was your um favorite wide receiver in the National Football League? Who do you think is the best wide receiver in the National Football League? But don't just say who it is. Tell me why. Tell me why you have said player as the best wide receiver in the National Football League. It could be somebody I haven't even named. That's why we have the sit down with Malik Wright, because I want to have these thought provoking conversations and discussions. This is what it's about. I'm really curious to hear what the majority of people think. Who is your quote unquote best wide receiver in the National Football League? Let me know down in the comment section. If you like more video like this, give this video a like, subscribe to the YouTube channel, turn on post notifications so you guys don't miss when we go live or upload content from the TWSN studio.